I cannot believe how racist Marvel Generations, The Spiders was. I just can't believe it. Brian Michael Bendis took his chubby little white supremacist fingers, typed on his white supremacist keyboard, and wrote a story in which Miles thanks Peter. That is the most racist thing I've ever read in my entire life. I think it's the worst piece of white supremacist trash Marvel have ever put out. Marvel, you can suck my The other day, I read Marvel Generations, The Spiders, and I pretty much enjoyed it. Like, I thought it was an alright story. It was kind of about Miles, obviously meeting Peter Parker in his younger days, and they have a bit of an interaction, and Miles goes away pretty much like learning something. I really, like, nothing happens in the story, and it's a bit weird. Like, he sees a younger version of himself, and yeah, it was kind of nice because something is learned in the story, which is pretty good. But then I saw this piece of trash article from Bleeding Cool, whereby it says Generations Spider-Man, which isn't actually the title of the book, it's The Spiders. Genuine, but some worrying undertones. And it's like, I'm wondering, I'm looking at the headline and I'm like, what are the worrying undertones? I read it, and apparently this comic is somewhat racist. Somehow. And like, I feel ridiculous saying it because like, they're reaching, like, heavily. If you read the book, you'll see that they're reaching. So essentially it's just the part where whereby we get to near the end and we find out what Peter's going through. Like, he's just trying to save Aunt May's life. She had a rare blood disease, and the only cure Dr. Octopus had, so he had to get that. And then obviously, like, the building collapsed around him, and like, he got out of the building. And essentially, he's got a lot of responsibilities. And Miles realizes the burden of having responsibilities. So it's Miles relearning that with great power comes great responsibility. And as he figures this out, what he says, and I quote, "You're amazing to share it with me. You're amazing to let me prove myself by your high standards. But even that is just about how amazing you are, not how much I deserve it. I guess I never really understood how personal it was." That's literally what Miles says to Peter, as Peter's like, kind of, well, he's almost pretty much falling asleep because he's so exhausted. And it is just Miles realizing that it's a big deal being Spider-Man. And it was a big deal for Peter Parker to be the first Spider-Man. He took on a lot. And so the ideals of being Spider-Man kind of come from Peter, kind of through Uncle Ben. But essentially they come from Peter. And he has to live up to those. He has to live up to what it means to be a Spider-Man, or to be part of the Spider family. And it's Miles understanding and relearning that. And so he got something from the interaction of meeting this younger Peter, which is great because he's actually learned something. He's kind of interacted with someone in an earlier part of their life, found out something about them, and now it's made him grow as a person, seeing what they had to do when they were around his age. That's smart. He wasn't going, oh massa white man, you, because of you, I can't, you're so good, I'm so crap, me and my dark skin. That's not what he was saying at all. That's not. So for this stupid article, which I suggest you actually go read, like, if you've not read it, stop this video now, link is in the description, go and read it. It's beyond a reach. Like, Brian Michael Bendis in this book hasn't written anything racist or anything that can be suggested to be racist. I'm tired of people being offended on behalf of other people just in case and stuff like that, and reaching and just taking things out of context and just making a big deal out of something that wasn't there. If you took race out of it entirely and had these two characters and had the same interaction, nobody would be saying, well, this person would be saying it was racist. They wouldn't be saying that. But the fact that there's skin color is not even involved, it's not even referenced or anything like that, but because they can see it, they decided to pick up on that and be offended on someone else's behalf. That is stupid. That needs to stop. I hate this crap in the 21st century when people decide to be offended for someone else when the thing that they're supposedly offended by isn't even actually offensive in any way, shape or form. It's a comic book in which Miles meets a younger Peter and relearns with great power comes great responsibility, but in a different way. He actually sees it rather than just being told it. He actually sees it with his own eyes, the responsibilities that Peter has to take up and the burden of being Spider-Man and what it actually means and how heavy it can be sometimes. But it's the pure good actions of being a Spider-Man. That's heroic. It's worth it at the end of the day. Because you can do great things with that great power, as long as you're responsible. With great power comes great responsibility. Also, like I said, it makes Miles grow. Miles, who knows what Miles is going to do next? Maybe he's going to walk away from being a spider. Maybe he's going to become something else. But maybe he's going to still hold those ideals. But yeah, that's pretty much what I thought of this article. I think this article stinks. I think it should be deleted. I wish I could delete it myself. And I think Marvel Generations, the Spiders, although not very interesting, I actually thought it was alright. I actually think it wasn't the best stuff I've ever seen, but I'm glad that it was an interaction in which Miles was able to grow. Yes, he is still a little bland, but I don't know, for some reason I like the kid. Like maybe it's because he's so bland that he can kind of be whatever you want him to be. Is that a compliment? Does that make sense? I don't know, but I'm waffling now anyway. So you know what? You can go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification as well. And as always, I'll catch you on the next one.